What is a better way to build long-term wealth? Is it simply boring buy and hold real estate? Or is a better strategy to flip anything? Well, folks, I have a special treat for you. The one and only Tom McKay and I will be going live right here on YouTube, right here on X, and yes, even on LinkedIn. And we are going to debate that topic at 8 a.m. or in about 30 minutes. Tom McKay was gracious enough to actually do a review of my discussion with Ryan and Brian about buying rentals. He also took the time to listen to my rant about how frustrated I was from that. So it was kind of weird. I've actually never seen a reaction video to one of my discussions. So shout out Tom for doing that excellent reaction video and for reaching out. So again, 8 a.m. live, we are going to talk flip anything or boring buy and hold real estate. Please join us. Please ask questions. Both Tom and I do this for you, the audience. We have fun talking about this stuff. So go ahead and take a look at that. Also want to give a shout out to a small YouTube channel that you might want to check out. It is Jack's Business Talk. Jack's Business Talk. He, Lindsay, and Sarah had a discussion yesterday about that discussion. That video posed lots of interesting questions, and I look forward to hopefully being interviewed on that channel shortly. But if you haven't checked out Jack's Business Talk, go ahead and give it a quick view, quick follow, and really lean in and understand also not only Jack, but Lindsay and Sarah. They are some amazing people, a part of One Rental at a Time. And frankly, we are lucky to have them. All right, let's keep it moving. We got a lot of Fed talk, right? The blackout period before the Fed day is over. We've got talk from Miran Moselman. I think I even got something from Powell. So let's talk about it. First, Fed President Miran, again, remember who he is. He was a stopgap fill-in. He has dissented at each and every meeting he's been a part of, twice wanting 50 and most recently wanting a quarter. What did he have to say? Rates are restrictive by at least 50 basis points. Code, he sees 2 more cuts in 2026. And then he goes, I assume I will give my seat up to Warsh. That's actually interesting. Because again, I had assumed that Kevin Warsh would want to sit on the outside of the Fed, at least until May, at least until he's confirmed. Why? I think there is a lot of value in having an outside voice that is not restricted by Fed policy, Fed rules, blackout periods, and the like. So it will be interesting if Kevin Warsh joins the Fed as a regular member and then is elevated to the top job in May. I don't know. I probably would want to stay on the outside so that I could lean into my voice and not be restrictive. But that's just me. Fed President Moselman, tariffs are to blame for at least half of inflation. Well, dude, have you checked out Trueflation? Where is it? You guys haven't corrected for the shelter bias, and at this point, it's comical. You know it. I know it. Inflation is already running below 2% if you correct for the 4% error in shelter inflation. Shelter is -1 in real time, not 3.2 to the positive. Risks are balanced. Only cut if the job market falters. I think more and more Fed presidents are being painfully clear, black and white, saying you're only going to get a cut out of me if the job market breaks. What does that mean? Well, for the longest time, we've been talking about a job market where weekly jobless claims would have to break 300 and probably break 325, and we are nowhere close. I think the last reading was, what was the last reading? Like 209, something like that, 206, 209, 212, something like that. We are nowhere close to 300. In fact, we've been below 240 for a number of weeks. And that, that was the old kind of high water line. So again, interesting. We've seen foreclosure activity rise. Again, the doomers love this stuff. Foreclosure activity is up 48% year on year. Yes, folks, we've gone from 2 to 4. Now, again, I'm kidding. It actually would be 2 to 3, but it is that, right? Don't get twisted on percentages. Doomers are going to do what they do and try to confuse you. They're going to say up 48%. It's the second coming of the 2008 crisis. Prices are going to fall 38%. You're better than that. You know the real deal. That's all clicks. That's all let me pay my rent by producing garbage. But it is what it is. But in reality, we are seeing some states take massive hits. Florida up 176%. Georgia up 140%. Texas up 92%. And Illinois up 41%. Guys, I don't know if you saw what happened over the weekend, but there was a crypto whale busted. His name is Garrett Jin. He apparently had some bet on Ethereum that went bad and went bad quickly. He basically lost $250 million in 24 hours. Oh, ouch. Go from a crypto whale to plankton. Can you imagine how bad a day? Can you imagine? You go to bed worth multiple nine figures, and you wake up worth $51. Yes, folks, his account had $51 after forced liquidations. Ouch. More and more experts are chiming in about Kevin Warsh, Ray Dalio, and Stephen Druckenmiller, both voicing support. In fact, Ray Dalio said 2 words, great choice. Again, folks, I think what we are going through right now is a dramatic repricing. I think the market was set up for a Trump loyalist / dove, and people are looking at Kevin Warsh going, that's not him. He's not gonna be a wet noodle to President Trump. So again, we will see what's coming. Again, markets are fearing that Kevin will focus on inflation over the job market, thus delaying cuts. Again, this is important. I think too many people are focused on Kevin's opinion about inflation and rates, and you're missing the bigger picture. I think the bigger picture is the Fed dramatically reducing their balance sheet and thus removing liquidity from the system. I believe it is that thing that you should be focused on, because if it shrinks faster and faster and faster, we will see dramatic behavior changes in the market, and it could be dramatic. Again, folks, we are less than 2 weeks away from our Vegas event. You do still have 16 tickets left. Nobody's bought a ticket in a week or so. If you are in Vegas, in LA, in the Bay Area, and you want to drive to Vegas for the event, you can still get your tickets. Also, at this point, if you have a teenager that wants to come, just bring them, and we will match their ticket with their parents or guardians. So again, I want to see teenagers there. It is part of my mission to help the next generation. So if you have a teenager that wants to come, see Vegas, have some fun, learn how to get rich and wealthy, bring them, and we will make sure there's room for them. A couple other things. We got some more Fed speak. Fed President Waller. Fed policy should be closer to neutral. Now remember, Fed Christopher Waller was the second dissent along with Fed President Moran. He at the time was auditioning for the top job and did not get picked, but he still believes that neutral is about 3% or 2 cuts away. We're starting to see Trump loyalist Moran and Waller anchor on 3%. So again, 2 more cuts. Fed President Waller says labor market remains weak and there's considerable doubt about future job growth. Fed President Bostic, Fed does not need to keep moving on rates. Again, wanting to hold. We should be more patient on rates. Again, no rush to cut, according to Fed President Bostic. Powell said Need to keep an eye on inflation. We can't declare victory early. We did have our first bank failure Friday. We had a bank failure on Friday. Chicago Bank, Metropolitan Capital Bank was seized by FDIC and basically sold for parts. But yes, we did have our first bank failure of 2026. And then lastly, I have a gift for our school members. If you guys don't recall, back when we hit 500 students inside school, I gave you my Get Your Money Right course for free. I want to do you one better. I want to give you the How to Get Started One Rental at a Time course. This is a course that I have sold over $500,000, almost 600 grand over the last 4 years. And I want to give that away for free, but there is a catch. Just like your Get Money Right course, which was at 500, I will give the entire thing away in the community for free when we hit 1,000 students. So again, it is my mission to keep adding value to the school community. It is what I want to be known for long term. So I need to put my money up. So again, something that I've generated over $500,000 from, I will give away for free as we continue to add students and cross the 1,000 student mark. Also, don't forget, if you want to live stream what is going on in our event in Vegas, you can sign up for school. The 4 invitations are there. So again, 4 Zoom links, morning of, afternoon, so on and so forth. So it's already there. Again, used to sell that for 99 bucks, made 6 to 7 grand every time. This time I said, no, we're going to give it away for free inside school. So join school. The link's there on the screen. And worst case, join for a month. But I think you will see the community and all the good people in there is well worth 67 pennies a day. All right, folks, take care of yourself. Have a wonderful day, and we'll be back tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. Later.